New reports came in about how much money Nintendo is making in its different sectors, and guess what sector is absolutely dominating in revenue? It's mobile. What's up, YouTube? Justin here with the Damn Nerds Gaming. Do me a favor, poke that like button, and let's get into the news. Friends, it was honestly really crazy when Nintendo announced they were going to enter the mobile games market. For years and years, former Nintendo president Satoru Iwata, when he was alive, the man was adamant that Nintendo was never ever going to go ahead and advance into this market. Now, after his unfortunate passing in 2015, Nintendo decided that they were going to instead develop smartphone games and launched an entire mobile division. And whether you like it or not, people, it turns out this decision has been more lucrative beyond levels anybody could have ever imagined. So people, these numbers I'm about to throw at you came out from Sensor Tower, which is a group that follows mobile gaming revenue. And these numbers may disgust you, depending on your feelings on mobile. But now that we've got that background, I can go ahead and hit you with the ludicrous number. Mobile made Nintendo $1 billion. Do you know what didn't make Nintendo $1 billion? Smash Ultimate, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey. Now, combined, they did, but not those single games all on their own, even selling millions and millions of copies. Now, by and large, the biggest game contributing to this massive amount of money Nintendo has made is easily Fire Emblem Heroes, because anime waifus and husbandos are guaranteed revenue for anything ever released ever. You could make the same exact coffee mug, and one has an anime waifu on it. Waifu mugs gonna sell way more. And the legendary Waifu X Factor has led to Heroes making 61% of that revenue. Now add on to that the fact that the game only has 18 million downloads. That is an average of $41 spent per person on this game. So you get a waifu, everybody gets their waifu. My friends, this is part of the reason why I'm so dumbfounded that people are wondering why yet another Fire Emblem character was added into Smash. Fire Emblem prints money, people. It straight up does. These numbers here are a huge indication. Of course they're going to put a Fire Emblem character in Smash. Money has made that decision for Nintendo. The people who paid into Fire Emblem Heroes have made that decision for Nintendo. And as a company, that's got to be their motivation. Sorry, fans of Geno from Super Mario RPG. Literally, nobody knows who that is. Now, of course, even though one game made a bulk of that revenue for Nintendo, there are others. Following in its footsteps at a mere 12% of that $1 billion was Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, because decorating your pretty campsite is still a pretty lucrative idea. Can't begrudge anyone who spent money on that there. And Dragalia Lost, Nintendo's other waifu simulator, has also made a cool 11% of that revenue. Mario Kart Tour hopped in after Dragalia Lost, which really hurts me because that's legitimately the worst game on this entire list. And then Super Mario Run and Dr. Mario World hopped in after that in that order. So I'm sure you're all wondering what these numbers and what these statistics can mean for Nintendo going forward. But the writing on the wall here leads to a couple of different points I want to make. First, I don't think Nintendo is going to even come close to abandoning the mobile sphere, despite how your personal feelings may be on it. I think because of the gacha game whales like myself who spend a lot of money on mobile, Nintendo is actually going to end up expanding mobile in the future, releasing more and more games designed specifically for mobile, maybe even from other franchises that don't have mobile games yet, like Legend of Zelda, to print even more money and be just as massively successful for Nintendo as their other profitable consoles like the 3DS and the Wii did in the past. On top of this, with Fire Emblem Heroes in particular being the dominant portion of this revenue, I think Nintendo is only going to continue to expand on the Fire Emblem franchise. I know a lot of people out there crap on Fire Emblem. I'm with you there too on some of the games, honestly. Fates was utter trash. But Fire Emblem is a very profitable series for Nintendo. This is indisputable. The writing is on the wall. Fire Emblem Awakening back on 3DS not only was successfully the savior of the franchise, but it ended up creating what is now the biggest cash cow Nintendo may ever see. Fire Emblem is here to stay, people. Fire Emblem is inescapable. Fire Emblem is popular, and Three Houses is actually a very good game. Fire Emblem is discussed at length in Nintendo investor reports. It's just that important. Stop being salty about a new Fire Emblem character in Smash. It's gonna happen. And it might happen again. So Fire Emblem Heroes, this mobile anime gacha game, made a significant portion of this block of revenue. Nintendo, huge leader in the games industry. I think this might actually mean, gang, that we are going to see more of these kinds of games, and maybe even more of these kinds of games coming from other companies. Maybe even Sony releasing some of these games. Maybe even some of these big name developers releasing more of these kinds of games, because it's very clear that they're profitable. Not only in Japan, where you'd think most of the market would reside, but also here in America as well. This whole gacha phenomenon is catching on. We have these games out here like Dragon Ball Legends, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, even anime gacha games that aren't from a franchise as storied as Dragon Ball Z. Fire Emblem, we've got Fate Grand Order, freaking Arc Knights made 75 grand day one, and that is a brand new IP that nobody knows about, but it's a tower defense game with anime waifus, and from what Nintendo has proven here with Fire Emblem and what they can do with Fire Emblem, that can be a recipe for success. So naturally, everybody, this is going to draw some comparisons between the little loot box phenomenon we had a while back. A lot of that came under fire with legislation. Loot boxes are starting to sort of filter away from big $60 games, and these mobile games, even though they're free, they operate under a similar monetization model. You can play them for free, or you can sort of pay extra money to speed up your progress, to get more chances to get the things you actually want. And might this be coming under fire from these legislators? Personally, I don't really think so, for a couple of reasons. One, I know a lot of you out there don't really take mobile super seriously as a gaming platform, even though it really is a serious gaming platform. So I think that natural stigma will bleed into the old codgers over on Capitol Hill. On top of that, a lot of these people are specifically marketing towards older weebs like me with disposable income who can shoot a lot of money at these banners for their .png anime waifus. With Nintendo's massive success in this industry, Nintendo showing that this massive thought leader can go forward into this new market and succeed beyond their wildest imaginations, I think this is going to lead to only more companies adopting the gacha model. Gacha is here to stay, mobile games are here to stay, and both gacha and mobile games are only going to grow. So in conclusion, gang, TLDR, Nintendo made a butt ton of money in mobile, and this butt ton of money is going to be coveted by all of these other companies. All of these other companies are going to market to me to try and get me to spend money on their mobile games. Arc Knights has already succeeded with that on my end. I've spent a significant amount of money on that, and anime waifus and husbandos print money. Who knew? Also, the grass is green. Of course, I want to know what you all think about Fire Emblem Heroes, about mobile, about gacha, about Nintendo. So if you have anything to say about any of these things, make sure you go ahead and let us know down in the comments. Maybe you don't like how crazy lucrative mobile has become. That's okay too. Tell me. Try and yell at me for spending too much money. And let's go ahead and check that nerd card before we get out of here. Now, Fire Emblem did come out on the Game Boy Advance way back in the day, but Fire Emblem made another appearance in the US even before its first game in the series. What game did Fire Emblem make that appearance in? Go ahead and answer that question down in the comments for a shout out in a future video, and if you don't answer, I will charge Josh's credit card $1,000 on Arc Knights. Hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. I hope I don't have to make that expense on Josh's credit card, and I will see you all in our next video.